Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and I was lucky to have a chance to interview Fantastic Four First Steps director Matt Shakman at a press event last weekend, where I got to ask this seasoned director behind WandaVision about Mephisto, whether Agatha could ever be Franklin Richards' nanny, how Galactus fits in with the Celestials, and I was able to get so many cool insights into this film. Our conversation does not spoil anything about the film, don't worry. I chatted with Matt before I even saw the movie, but it was such a cool opportunity and such a great conversation, I just really wanted to share it with you all. Hey, I also got to talk to HERBIE, where I also asked that guy about some lore questions when it comes to the 828 universe and Nova, but I only got so far for reasons you'll see in the second half of this video.
This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes launching your own website a breeze.
Hi, Matt.
Hello.
So, I was super excited to see the WandaVision Easter egg. Don't know if it was intentional, but I saw a Westview television and appliances sign.
Yes.
So from that, can we assume that there is A Westview in the universe 828, and B, and this is just like a New Rockstars question I have to ask, can a Mephisto be in the 828 Westview?
The only thing one should draw from this Easter egg is that I was honoring a show that meant a lot to me, right? And that I, in a new universe where, you know, we weren't going to bring in other Marvel characters, it was the one Easter egg I allowed myself was to put the Westview appliance in there. So you can draw no conclusions from that except just me honoring something that I loved.
Well, and something that was so great. And one thing that you did great on WandaVision and in this movie is the character dynamics. And I know you spent a lot of time as the artistic director of the Geffen Playhouse in Los Angeles. What would you say is one thing that you were just really proud to see from that theatrical experience? I know you rehearsed a lot with the cast. Something that you were proud to see make its way into a scene from that theatrical experience.
Yeah, we did approach it like a play. We rehearsed for 3 weeks. We got to know these characters, to have those great conversations so that they would feel like lived in relationships. Then you would understand and buy this family, right? Mm-hmm. If you didn't buy that, then the whole enterprise wouldn't work, right? We had to believe them as a husband and a wife, as brother and sister, as best friend. So that was a big part of it. And we did some improv that made its way into the script. We played around with scenes on their feet. I had this old rehearsal hall at Pinewood dressed up with 60s furniture. We had a living room, we had a bedroom, we had a kitchen, we had all the sort of areas that we would need. And we rehearsed all these scenes and played around with them on their feet. And it really definitely helped them gel as a company, but also definitely helped to the eventual product.
Is there a particular shot or an edit that you were just really proud of coming out of this movie that you're like, that is a signature Matt Shakman shot that I'm just really proud is in the final cut?
Oh, well, we worked so hard on the whole movie, and amazing cinematography by Jess Hall and great VFX by Scott Stockdike and Kazra Farhani, our production designer, Alex Byrne, our costume designer. We all worked together as a team to create this. And it would be so very hard to pick one shot, but if there's sort of one sequence, and it would probably be Franklin's birth that is most special to me, mostly because my daughter's birth was the most fantastic event of my life, and to be able to put that into a Marvel film and to put it in space in such a high stakes situation, I think I'm most proud of that sequence, and there are many shots within that sequence too.
Yeah, I am a father of a 19-month-old.
Congrats.
And thank you. And there is such a high stakes tension of the dilemma here. And I think the music really helps underline that. And you had an interesting benefit of Michael Giacchino's main theme already being composed by the time you started shooting. Can you talk about the experience of that music guiding your direction? Did that shape the way you would frame scenes? Yeah,
Michael's music is extraordinary. And he did write the main theme before I started filming. And he sent it to me on a weekend. He said, I got inspired, so I wrote this. And see what you think. I hope you don't hate it. It's amazing. It was fantastic. And he said his inspirations were The Right Stuff and the Disney Electrical Parade, which I think is great references for the movie. We'd had lots of long conversations about what the movie was about, thematically, tonally. What was it trying to do? The optimism, the family aspect of it, the 60s world, the retrofuturistic world that we were building. So he had all that stuff sort of in his head as he was going, but he crystallized it beautifully. And music can get to tone, can get to style in a way that 1,000 words can't, right? And his theme starts with an almost like a lullaby, right? Which very much connects to the story of family, to the idea of Franklin, the baby that's in the movie. And then it builds to that kind of right stuff, sweeping launch feeling of the space race era. And it really is very moving. And at that time, when he sent it to me, it's in prep when you're afraid nothing's going to work, and you've got the whole movie in your head, and you're dealing with all these details, and you're trying to figure it all out. And listening to that music, I was like, oh, there will be a finished movie. Like, this movie will come together with this amazing music, and it will all be elevated and lifted by Michael's work. And so it gave me a touchstone. It gave me something that could remind me that what we were heading towards. And I played it for the cast. It really helped them. And then Michael came and visited us and watched us film some scenes. And one of my favorite memories is he was sitting behind me at the monitor, and I looked back, and he had his iPhone out, and he was doing something. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm teaching myself GarageBand. I was like, okay, why? And he's like, because I'm writing a score for this scene you're filming right now. And he literally wrote a score on his iPhone, played it for me. It was fantastic. We sent it to the sound department. They pumped it out through big speakers while we were filming it. And the actors all kind of like, were like, oh, I get the scene even more in that same way that music can get to something where words can't sometimes. And so, yeah, music is very powerful. He's a genius, and it's a huge component of this movie.
Did you find a similar synthesis with Kazra's production design? Did he make any discoveries while you were shooting? Because, I see a shared production design language, at least between this film and Loki, the retro futurist.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a dust on some of it in Loki that seems like dust that might have been collected from Reed Richards' technology in this movie. Was there an intentional connection between those two?
Not an intentional connection with Loki, but Kazra's work on Loki is amazing. It was, something that I was so impressed by that when I was, hiring a designer for this, he felt like a perfect choice for it. He thinks, architecturally, he thinks from a story standpoint, he's very innovative in his thinking. And so we worked very closely together to kind of look at 60s architecture and 60s concept art, as well as 60s retro future ideas. What were the futurists of the time imagining the world would look like? We were looking at Stanley Kubrick. We were looking at Jack Kirby and the original comics. We were looking at everything and trying to come up with a language that we felt would be consistent, because we wanted the Reed tech and the Fantastic Car and the kitchen at the Baxter Building and the lobby and space to all feel somewhat cohesive, that their spaceship and the Fantastic Car shared a design language. So we developed common reference points in terms of the architecture and the concept art that spoke to us. And that's how we sort of designed the world. But he's amazing, brilliant.
So I want to talk about Galactus. This is the first time Galactus has been depicted in this comic accurate form ever on screen. Yeah. And it works really well. And I was curious, how did you go about shooting this with a smaller miniature set? And who all wore the suit in the film? Was it just Ralph? Did anyone else wear the suit? Did it go to anyone's head? Did anyone, being that big compared to a city, did it go to their head to become like a God complex situation?
As far as I know, only Ralph wore it. We didn't have any stunt double action. He did everything himself while wearing the suit. And I think having him there, putting him in that suit was great for all of us, being able to film him for real as opposed to, mocap. We used some mocap in the film, but Ralph shot pretty much everything in that suit. It just allowed Galactus to come to life, and it's an amazing performance from Ralph that drives it. And we filmed him the way you film a miniature, which is you flood it with light. You try to make everything in focus, because when you film Mount Rushmore, everything's in focus. But when you film a face like this, things fall off. The ears are not as sharp as the nose, and the eyes are sharp, that kind of thing. So we needed him to feel like he was enormous, and that's how we did it. But then you also needed scale cues, right? You need the little Fantastic Four in there to show you just how big he is. And, we built a throne for him, which, he could sit in, he could interact with, that was really gorgeous. But the world ship is built at Galactus' scale, so it was impossible to build the whole world ship. So we built large sections of it, and then, of course, a lot of VFX to flesh it out and to expand it.
And how free did you feel to explore Galactus's cosmic origins? Did anyone from Marvel say well, you can't overlap with this because the Celestials do this? Did you have to think about that kind of hierarchy?
No one was saying you can't do anything. Galactus' story is quite different than Celestials. He was Galen of Ta, a scientist who tried to survived the big crunch, the end of his universe, and he was reborn into this universe as Galactus, as this, cosmic force that devours planets. And so we knew that story, but we also recognized that when Kirby and Lee introduced the character, they didn't give you all that backstory, and that we were aware of that, and we wanted to kind of let Galactus be Galactus, let him be this unknowable, scary force, this cosmic vampire moving through the universe, eating planets. There's something scary about the things you don't understand, the things you don't know.
And then one final question. Could Agatha Harkness, a character that you introduced into the MCU in WandaVision, could she ever be Franklin's nanny in your universe?
Well, I mean, you never say no. Catherine Hahn's amazing. But yes, Agatha was, of course, Franklin's nanny. Agatha seems to be a ghost at present now in the MCU, so I'm not sure about her future. We'll see.
Well, thank you so much, Matt. It was great talking to you.
Pleasure. Yeah. Thank you very much. Cheers. Have a good day.
Everybody needs a summer project, and if you're too old to be running a lemonade stand or don't have enough of a green thumb to turn your garden into a jungle, then you may as well put some energy into building a sleek professional website with Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one tool that gives you everything you need to make a website that looks good and does whatever you need it to do. Every Squarespace website is optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions, and auto-generated sitemap, and more, so you show up more often to more people in a global search engine results. If you're not a graphic designer, don't worry. Squarespace's design intelligence tool makes it so easy to get your website just looking right for you. If you're not a graphic designer, don't worry. Squarespace's design intelligence tool makes it so easy to get your website looking just right. It combines 2 decades of industry-leading design expertise with cutting-edge AI technology. If you're selling goods or services, Squarespace can help you untangle digital payment platforms with just a few clicks, making it easy to start receiving payments right away, using popular payment methods like Apple Pay, ACH, Direct Debit, Klarna, and more. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/newrockstars to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain.
All right, next I'm going to show you my conversation with HERBIE, the robot housekeeper and nanny of the Fantastic Four. The conversation was really fun, but I think the coolest part was just watching the animatronics of this character, and in doing so, I picked up on some Easter eggs that I'm definitely going to be talking about in the Easter egg breakdown coming to this channel on Friday. But I hope you enjoy this very silly conversation. Hi, HERBIE. How's it going? Oh, okay. Wow, interesting. I got a lot of emotional context from that. Are you really okay? You can be honest with me. Fair enough. There's a lot of scary things out there in the cosmos. 14 billion year old space gods from the Big Bang. I got a little tremor there. Are you trembling from Galactus? Oh. Okay, so I'm trembling from Galactus. I don't know if it's just like the Baxter building here is shaking or not. I have some questions for you, HERBIE. First off, I just want to share my condolences over Kirby. I hear what Ben did to him in Huntsville. And are you worried around Ben now? Got it. So when he says you got to add a couple extra cloves of garlic to the sauce, you just say, yes, sir. My opinion is that there's never too much garlic that you can add to sauce. Can you even taste garlic? Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like that was an offensive question to ask a humanoid experimental robot B-type integrated electronics whether they can perceive the fifth sense of taste. Do you feel FOMO over taste? I'll say it's overrated because taste is how we just keep eating beyond the point of being not hungry anymore. Okay, you didn't have to go that far, HERBIE. I feel like you made kind of a comment there. Fair enough. Let's move on. Do you have did Reed build you by himself? Or, I've heard in certain universes out there, it was a collab with Reed and Master Zar of the Xandarians, and that Master Zar actually needed some help detecting Galactus threats out there. Okay. No comment, or? Do you know of a Xandar planet out there in the 828 universe? Yeah. Yeah, I think they suck too. They're always losing every battle. They fold like chairs over there in Xandar. Yeah, I said it. I don't have a problem saying it. Come at me, Novacore. Seriously, please come at me, Novacore. I would love it if you came into this universe, Novacore. So HERBIE, talk about, it seems like your eyepieces are made out of like a 60s analog disc track that kind of controls the knobs that suspend the tape across. Is there any music that you hear in your gears? Okay. It's just sometimes when I'm like in a quiet room, just a weird earworm kicks in, and sometimes it sounds like dum ba ba bum bum ba da 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 da. You don't get any of that? All right. I have a question though. I need some help with something. I have a 19-month-old son who's going through some sleep regression right now. And I feel like, I've read some print advertisements that you're just really good at childcare and that kind of thing. Any tips on like what a good lullaby could be to get him to go to sleep? Could you? Okay, so I'll cradle my son at 3:30 in the morning and go. That is what the sound he makes. He'll just kind of wail in the middle of the night. Yeah. HERBIE, you can be honest, it's just us here. Do you have a favorite of the Fantastic Four? So if I say their name, you can just kind of give some kind of expression when I say who your favorite is. Okay. Let's start with Sue. We'll stop there. I think she's my favorite too. She's like the adult in the room. She's the most responsible. I'm gonna list off some threats that are out there in the universe, and can you react the way you would if they were to show up outside the Baxter building right now? Let's start with Mole Man. Oh, interesting. You seem kind of trepidatious about Mole Man. From what I understand, Sue and Harvey Elder are getting along pretty good. No? All right, so let's talk about it. So it sounds like there's some beef, like publicly, Sue and Harvey are getting along, but actually she's like, you could wash your clothes a bit more often, Harvey. Is it that kind of thing? All right, you heard it here. Okay, so another threat that could be out there. What if the Silver Surfer were to show up outside this window? How would you react? Oh, take a step back. I see. Yeah. Would you tell her? Maybe dial back the intensity there. Okay, you wouldn't say a word there. I mean, I'd be terrified if it showed up. What if Galactus shows up outside this window? I love it. Do a little twirl. Give him a little show. Is that what we're saying here? So, what would you offer Galactus? I know Reed is trying to go out there and have a negotiation with Galactus. What do you even offer something that old and that big to get them to stay away? Okay, so maybe sharing on your like your Fandango account or something like that. Oh, that's a good one. I feel like Galactus just needs to see a good movie. Yeah. Now, do you have any recommendations of movies to watch? I know Sub-Zero Intel is playing at one theater down at the Forum, and Attack of the Fungi, that seemed like an interesting Easter egg, perhaps? Yeah. You don't like scary movies? Yeah. The world's pretty scary. You don't think the world's scary? I mean, I'm afraid to go outside sometimes. I have a question. Is that a good idea to have that copper tone billboard that has active flames coming out of it? Doesn't that seem like a fire hazard? Yeah, I think so too. I would not want to live in that building. Just like all hours of the day, you have these like flame jets that are coming out. I feel like, are they standing by with a fire extinguisher? I understand you have your own little AirPods style compartment on the Excelsior rocket ship. Do you feel comfortable in that? Do you wish you had a bigger compartment? Yeah, space travel. Do you wish that they could just leave you at home? Yeah, there's all kinds of housekeeping that needs to be done. It is a living, isn't it? Is there anything that you want the Future Foundation to do to fix the world? Be kind to one another. I agree. I think that's great. Well, Herbie, it was great chatting with you. Thank you for spending some time with me. Bye, buddy. Comment down below with what you're most looking forward to from Fantastic Four First Steps. And a big thanks to Matt Shakman, the Fantastic Four team, Marvel Studios, and Disney Marketing for giving me this interview opportunity. And a special thanks to one of our YouTube members, Sin City Monster, who supports us at the executive producer level. You can follow me at EA Voss and subscribe to all the channels in the New Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.